It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning. Welcome to SimWorld today. I am B. Ron. Alongside me is Yell as always. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Good to
Man,
see you here.
the sun's shining bright. It's a good morning here. I'm glad to be here with you, B-Ron. I got some news. Oh, I'm ready to break some
You got some
news.
already. We just started the show,
Oh,
sir.
man.
You got news already?
And it's that good. It's that good. Hey, I'm up early trying to get these stories, man. That's what a reporter does, right? I'm out here early. And I got some connects, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump right into it, B-Ron.
Oh
Can
man.
I let the world
Yeah,
know
go
what's
for
going
it.
on? Y'all do know
Of
where I'm
course.
from, and here's the reason I have this insight. I do hail from the great state of Texas in a wonderful city called H-Town, and word on the street is they may have lost Coach Jaden Banks, but Coach Bilardi has spurned Latin America. He makes his third move in
No
three
way.
seasons, and he's headed to the H-Town Hoopers as their new head
No
coach. B-Ron.
way.
I have a lot of mixed emotions on this. You know what? I'm gonna be real. They're not mixed at all. I have strong emotions on this, and they're all one sided. But I gotta let you rock on this one, B. Ron. How you feeling about
Yeah.
this?
Well, firstly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked because we know Bilardi's story. Really, one of the top coaches in SimWorld Prep that we have here, was at Gotham 5 in our Ground Zero season, and in partway through season 1, got fired from the team, let go, whatever you want to call it, and then later on went down to South America or Latin America to coach that team there, and you know started to in the offseason here trying to build something there, and now he's leaving. So like, that don't sit right with me, Coach Bilardi. I feel bad for those kids in Latin America. They were looking for a coach for so long, and now they're in that same position again, just a few months from having you join them. So yeah, that's kind of poopy.
Kind
Like
of
better
poopy
word.
indeed. Kind of poopy indeed. I don't know if I have a stronger word for it, but we can't get away with that here. Yeah, I'm
That's
a
why I said what I said.
So I'm gonna walk through a little story. Coach Bilardi was one of the first coaches that I was able to have an interaction with here in SimWorld Prep early in the Ground Zero season, and I came to find out really good guy, man. Really great story. He's got a lot going in his life. Good family guy. I'm a huge fan of Tim Bilardi, the man. He got to Gotham, had him winning. All hail Coach Bilardi. Rick Blaze was all on oh, he's the greatest coach ever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the maestro impersonation, but oh, he's the greatest coach ever. Everyone's, oh, he's the greatest coach ever. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, he's a great guy, and this is a great team. And man, let's let things play out before we dub him, before we crown him, before we get our Dennis Green on, right?
Right.
Before we
Yeah.
do that. So, a little bit later, they fall. I believe they fell to was it Seattle, the Seattle Stars at that time. They fell to a team they shouldn't have
Yeah.
in that original Ground Zero tournament. Anything can happen. That's what happens in one and done tournaments. They lose. Come back the next season. He starts off with Gotham 5, newly rebranded, and they struggle. They suck. They suck. They're not living up to the potential of the team. They're not living up to the potential of the players on that team. And they're not living up to the potential and all the hype built around Coach Bilardi. So at that point, everyone makes a bunch of excuses for him, and maybe it's this and maybe it's that. Fast forward a little bit further, ownership at Gotham 5 says, you know what, the expectations are too high, are high, and you're supposed to be the guy. You're not delivering. Be that we call it an amicable departure or whatever we call it, you're out. Either way, you're out. In the words of my man Sam Rothstein from Casino, great movie by the way. But they say either way, you're out. Bilardi's gone, and I think he took some time to reflect, spend some time with family, and he head down to one of the most beautiful areas of the world, if you know what I mean, down to Latin America. SimWorld Latin America, he goes there and he builds a relationship. He moves. This is an international move. He built some relationships with some players there. You got J Mo, you got Akiyama Revelo, Red Jointner. He brought in, I think, one of Tim's moves on his own is he brought in Franklin Tyson from St. Kitts Nevis. I mean, he's not even from the mainland of Mexico. Brought him in. and the team did not look, you know. I guess people expected them to have some groundbreaking, earth-shattering development once Tim Bellari
Yeah,
got there,
and
and it
right,
didn't
and do a
happen.
complete 180 with how it works.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it didn't. They looked a little better, but the tools were the tools, and they didn't look great. So here we go. We're in the off season where he has time to tool a team the way he wants to. He's made this commitment to some kids. More importantly, these kids have made a commitment to him, and here we are again. Coach Bellari has bounced again on another squad, and let alone he's come to what I consider my hometown squad. So I'm only here to assume if things don't go his way, he's going to leave these kids and my team high and dry again. So yeah, great guy, but it's starting to come into question for me, B-Ron. It's starting to come into question because you have an accountability, you have a responsibility to these kids. This isn't the pros. You don't move around and jump around, and believe you me, professional level coaches wish that they weren't bouncing around and moving around too. They would want to plant their feet somewhere, build something, build a dynasty,
yeah,
build a legacy, grow with some players. This is even more so important at the prep level.
yeah. That conversation we always have with the player movement, that kind of stuff, that goes both ways, and I think it holds more true for the coaches. The coaches should be held to a bit of a higher standard than players, personally, because they're adults.
Oh,
They're the
my brother,
adults in the
testify.
situation.
Testify, brother B-Ron.
if, if we want to talk about being accountable and being loyal to a team and buying into a team and all that stuff, it starts at the top with the coaches, with the adults in the situation. If you as a 15, 16, 17-year-old see coaches bouncing around here, there, and everywhere, then that says to me, if they can do it, why can't I do it? What's the
No,
problem with when I do it? But if a coach does it, it's not a big deal.
absolutely.
That that's not to say that you can't do it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I think there's a way you do it. There's a time and a place for how you do it, and I don't think that neither of those timings were right in this situation to do it. If you stay in Latin America for a few years or a few seasons, get them to a good spot and then go, hey, I want to move up to the college ranks. Sure. No problem there. Moving upward mobility is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the lateral movements, I think at this stage of things, on both sides, on players and coaches' sides, but again, more on the coaches' side, doesn't sit right with me.
Look,
Especially when you're only there for what's it like a hot dog and milkshake or whatever. I don't know what the term is. Whatever. You know what I mean?
and B-Ron, and that's what I'm saying. That's my point. He was there for a little over half a season. Why go there? Why go there in the first place if you're just gonna bounce out? You didn't give anything any time to shake out whatsoever. So that's gonna have implications for his coaching career when somebody wants to come when he's trying to do recruiting. I think there'll be some question marks there. I definitely think there'll be some question marks on, hey, you're asking me to commit to the team. What's your commitment to the team, coach? What's your commitment? And then just to add to you, just to double down on what you said, B-Ron, you're like, hey, you don't like that they move, but you can. I mean, you can do it. There's no rules against people doing what's best for them. But guess what? I could go in a room right now, and I could go to another room. I can go slap the hell out of my neighbor. I can do it, but it's probably not the best thing to do.
No, not a good idea.
Everything has ramifications, man. But hey,
Exactly.
Congrats, Coach Bellari. You are in H-Town, so I'm forced to root for you, and I'm not even saying I have a hard time doing it. But if your ass leaves H-Town high and dry after a season, that's it. We're done. We're breaking up. It's over.
I feel bad. I feel bad for those kids at Latin America. I really do. J-Mo, Akiyama Ravello, Red. I feel bad for those kids because again, after their struggles the first part of last season, they were desperate for a coach. There was rumblings and there was talk about how those kids really wanted a coach, and they got one in Tim Bellari. And to see
the top coach, we consider the top coach in SimWorld.
Right, the top coach in SimWorld Prep, Coach Bellari, and to see him bounce like that, again, don't sit right with me. Congrats on the move. I hope you can turn H-Town around and give them some consistency there, because that's something that I'm thinking about too.
Yeah.
Those those Texas teams, unfortunately, also haven't had the best luck with consistency when it comes to their coaches.
They've seen
So hopefully,
incredible turnover.
yes,
And
yes.
hey, all right, be
So
wrong.
hopefully they can get stability there. Let's move
Look,
on. Yeah.
let's let it ride. Let's let it ride. Look, we stayed on that topic longer than Tim Bilardi has stayed with the team. Nick Hugo, run DMV, be run.
Yeah.
What is happening here, man? What is going on? Nick Hugo saying he may be out. It could be the coaching change. Did he give the new coach a chance? I don't know. But what are your thoughts about Nick Hugo possibly bouncing from Rum DMV?
So there's a lot with that. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I say that because, he had said publicly yesterday, when the news broke about it, that, that comment was given before Coach Banks had joined the team. So from what so I personally take that to mean that, that was a older statement that doesn't hold any water now. I'm good. I have not spoken to Nick personally, so I don't know that for sure. I can't fully, say that definitively or not, but that's how I'm taking it. I think that the bigger question for me though comes in the form of, if he does decide to go somewhere else, you know, be it to join the Reigning Trays, or Cascadia in that area, you know, how does that affect Run DMV?
I don't. Be wrong. I don't think
So
he.
what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I don't think he's going anywhere. There's a lot of interesting statements. It's funny you bring that up, that he says that statement was made before the new coach came in. I don't know if that means it came while Coach Murray was there and he was not a big fan of Coach Murray, although he played well under him, or if that was after Coach Murray left and he thought that he may be.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it came after Coach Murray left, and there was that limbo period where
Yeah.
they weren't sure who the next coach was going to be, what the scheme was going to be, that kind of thing. That's how I'm interpreting that statement.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I hope he doesn't go anywhere. When I look at when I think Run DMV and SimWorld Prep, there's two things I think of, really three. I think of running gun offense, and I think of Coach Murray, who's no longer there. I think of Brandon Smith, who was a very clutch player with a very ugly shot, but what a baller. And I'd put him and John Hudgens in a pair. I think of those as two peas in a pod. But the number one number one thing that I think of is a person. That's Nick Hugo. He was the heart and soul of that team. And that's a great platform for that organization, bringing in other prep level talent as he moves on after this season and goes and plays wherever he plays collegiately, and does whatever he does. I don't think he's going anywhere. I hope he's not going anywhere. I know everyone in that particular region and area. All those teams in the Founders region are hoping that he does get the hell out of the Founders region. But yeah, stay there and cause a ruckus, big man. You are a monster. You are a monster, and that's where we want to see you do it. So.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to what we've been talking about for the short period we've been in the off season. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. You could go somewhere else, sure, but you may not have the success you want, the usage you want when you get there, and then you got no one to blame but yourself for moving around like that. So,
hey, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Speaking of possible teaming up and moving around, that kind of stuff, Royce Anderson and Corey Yams, they were spotted working out in LA over the weekend. So a lot of this talk, you see it all the time at the higher level, especially when you see, X players working out with this guy. What does this mean? It seems like we're getting a lot bit of that here too, which, okay, fine. Do you think that this is a possible sign of them working out and maybe try to get some chemistry together, or maybe it's a recruiting thing for one of the two? Maybe Royce saying, "Hey, come with me to Best Coast," or Corey, come with me to Showtime, or we could both go to Lone Star. We could both go to uh, what's it, Yacht Club if you're Royce Anderson. There's a lot of things there. What do you think about all that?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. You asked me if I think this could possibly be leading to them playing together somewhere. My answer is yes. I think of it like
Okay.
Kevin Durant and James Harden. I think both of these guys. Royce is a little more under the radar, but I think he means what he says. And when we've heard things about him possibly, wanting to bounce from where he wants to go somewhere. He's made it clear that he wants particular things. If he said it, I'm gonna believe he meant it because I haven't heard him all out in the media saying a bunch of different things, a bunch of different motions and words all over the place. He says things.
I don't hear a lot from Royce.
Right,
No,
you hear
no.
exactly what he has to say. So
Yep.
I believe him I take him at his word. And then Yams, on the other hand, we hear a lot from Yams. He's a big,
Love the
boisterous
kid, though.
personality. Yeah, I love him. We hear a lot from the dude. But them in tandem, it just seems like peas in a pod. I don't think these two people these two kids that seem to have different personalities, I don't think they're meeting up for nothing. And that's all I can say. I don't know where they land. I'm pretty sure they're strategizing. They both in different ways. One a little more internal, one more of a little extrovert. They seem pretty calculated,
Yeah.
these kids, right? So I'm sure in the later parts of their career, that's going to benefit them greatly. Maybe they're talking to legacy groups in their ear, giving them some ideas. Maybe they're making their own decisions. I don't know, but I definitely think it's leading to something.
I I don't think it materializes in anything. I think it's just an off-season thing where they're both still kind of in the area because Royce played for the Breakers and Corey played for Showtime. I think they're both still in the area. They haven't gone back to their respective home states yet. So
Neither
I
one of
think
them are
that's all it is
from Cali,
personally.
though. Neither one of them from Cali. I wonder if they ever
No, no, no.
I wonder if they ever
That's
assimilated to the area. I don't know.
Yeah, true, true, true. I'm just thinking that maybe they're still there for whatever reason, and that's how they met up. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't like a. I don't want to say it wasn't planned because it probably was a planned thing since they're in the area still. But because they're both not, like you said, they're both not from the area. I don't think they're gonna be playing together on the same team next season. If I'm
Look,
wrong, I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel.
before we move on, Royce, Corey, either one of y'all want to hop on the show? Y'all want to give us a ring? We'll reach out to you. You hop on SimWorld today. Y'all can clear some things up. Get tired of hearing everybody
Yeah.
talking all on social media and stuff. We can
Right.
put you. We can put you on prime time, baby, or morning time, open of the day. But we can put
Right.
you on here on
Right. Yeah.
SimWorld TV
Exactly.
on SimWorld today. So, just saying,
Yeah.
just saying.
Right. Absolutely. For sure. For sure.
All right. Well, look, B-Ron. Is it panic time for Yacht Club? What do I mean when I ask that? Taking it to the max, no more. Adam Max says, I'm done with Yacht Club. But more importantly, he says, I'm done with basketball. I'm done with SimWorld Prep. That's what I'm hearing. Yacht Club in trouble or what?
I don't. I still, because of the amount of talent they still have on the team, and because of the recruiting situation that's still kind of up in the air. I'm not saying anything is dwindling, panic time, none of that until we see final rosters. So I'm not saying that yet. No, it's too early. Too early. I
Short
know
on,
losing Adam Max is a big deal. I know that, and I know losing last year potentially because he did say yesterday too that I saw somewhere that he said that I kind of I'm still figuring things out and I haven't ruled out returning to Yacht Club. So we'll see. I don't think you can say any of those things yet until final rosters are put together and we see things. Personally, that's just me. I'm taking a wait and see approach with
yeah,
everything. But yeah,
I had picked them as one of my favorites. They were in my top 3 to 5 teams next season. They still are. They still are. Adam Max, Jay Laster,
yeah,
as good as those players were, I think it was, again, another one of those situations where really talented kids, but maybe they held other kids back as they're trying to. Everybody's jostling for position. Coach got to get everybody minutes. I think some of these players will
yeah.
really be unlocked. I think Trey Willis is an animal. I think DeMarco Graham is going to end up showing us exactly what it is with him. And I've told y'all how I feel about Tyshawn Issam and Garrett Hart. You don't want to get those guys upset. Like they can hoop, and there's still
No,
implication. We just finished talking about potentially Royce Anderson and And if Corey Yams is a part of it, hey, there's an opening up front for this squad. Well,
Right.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at them. They got a lot of bigs on this team anyway. But Coach Lasser has double stacked
Make room.
everybody. Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Can
But
make room.
I think they're good to go. Adam Max was a great player. Did I see him affect this team in a major way where a loss of him breaks this team? Nah, not at all. So best of luck to the kid. I hope whatever has him moving away from the game of basketball, he gets everything solved because he's a great talent. I'd love to see him playing at the higher level someday.
Absolutely, for sure, for sure. Speaking of playing at higher levels and that kind of stuff, over the weekend we saw the first ever Trey J SummerSlam event. Little showcase pickup game. There was a lot of players in that game, and some standouts from that one. I'm gonna go first, and I'll let you give yours. We might have some similar ones, matter of fact, but Jermaine Owens, Sean Hyman, and DJ Davis were three kids that all stood out to me. I tried to go with fellow players who are on teams, one who's looking to find a team, so that's how I went about figuring out my list. What about you?
Yeah, that was number one. Trey J. SummerSlam standout. God, look at this, man. Trey J. SummerSlam. That's a tongue twister those kids came up with. Shout out to Trey Hyman and Jamie Ramos putting that together. Excellent kids. They organized the entire thing themselves. It caught some traction, caught our eyes. We caught wind of it. We were able to help them facilitate the running it at the Drew. Great product, great on floor representation, great thing they put together. So shout out to them. Standouts, I think you named them, but I do have one other direction. I already know J.O.'s an animal, so I got to call the game. I was impressed by him. I know Sean Hyman's an animal. I'll say that he's another example, one of those guys that may be a little held back sitting in someone else's light, but I'm not even going to get that started. But he showed right there. You need a glimpse of what he may be capable of. DJ Davis, though, I'm with you on that one. Man, I think he is a straight-up sniper. He was just knocking that thing down. He got with it, and his game was silky smooth. I liked him. And then, how could you leave this out? Gabe Pope? Man, watch out. Gabe Pope it was crazy. He was balling out there, man. And the offensive bag was deep. I don't know if it's always been, but I'm looking forward to seeing him this upcoming season after what I saw at the Trey J SummerSlam.
Yeah, he was an honorable mention on my list. I personally kept it to 3. Gabe was 4 on that one.
You out here giving Dwayne Wade dunk contest scores, man. Come on, man. Come on,
man. Look, producers in my ear saying y'all gotta go, y'all overtime once again. We gotta every time, man. But look, that's how we do here on SimWorld today. We love talking. We're gonna talk your ear off if we get a chance to. We're gonna do it every day of the week, seems like. So thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. We really do. But we'll see y'all tomorrow. And as a reminder, just because it's the off season does not mean that here in SimWorld Prep you can see the game and be the game, yells.
Peace.
All right.
See y'all next time.
See y'all later.